balanced meals, so food from all the different food groups. And there's something we call my plate concept. So there you have, so if you divide the plate into about four, I'll just go through the proportions. You expect to give the person less than a quarter of the plate being protein, and then a little more than a quarter being the whether legumes or grains or the carbohydrates, all that, a little more than a quarter of that. Out of that too, you want to give them more than a quarter vegetables and less than a quarter fruits. So you have like a good balance, and they will find the fats inside the protein. Some may be inside the carbohydrates as well. So then it's balanced. You could give them some milk too on the side, and they should take good amounts of water during the day. So typically that's a balanced diet. In Ghana now, if you allow me, I'll talk the whole day.
No, that's okay. So I wanted to relate it to what we have on screen currently.
Okay.
And we're not saying that the food should be the same, but in
Yes.
terms of the like foods we have in
Yes.
our environment.
Yes.
So there needs to be portion of
Yes.
fruits.
Yes.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
So fruits, less than a quarter.
Ghanaian children food.
Yes, Ghanaian fruits.
At a meal.
Yes, so it could be right after the meal, you present it to them as a dessert. But at a sitting or during the meal time, that should be part of what they are eating. It doesn't necessarily have to be lying on the same plate at the same time. And we see a lot of vegetables there which are probably foreign, but we have a lot of good vegetables here in Ghana that can be used to prepare the meals for the children. The aim is not to aim for foreign. The aim is to get vegetables. And we have a lot of good local vegetables, the contomerates, the garden eggs, okra, all those are good vegetables, onions, tomatoes, all those are good vegetables that we use to cook for the children. And yes, it doesn't have to be a salad. It can be the contomere stew being the vegetable portion, or garden egg stew, or even if it is tomato stew, but then it should have vegetables in there. And for the grains as well, or the carbohydrates, you could have the yam, the potatoes, all those ones forming the carbohydrate bit. It doesn't necessarily have to be something foreign to be balanced or healthy.
What we've seen among our kids these days are the cravings.
Yes.
And of course, this also has been exacerbated by what is shown in the media, either through maybe the various series they watch, etc., and then the influence of pop culture, so to speak.
Yeah.
How do we balance that, knowing that the cravings could be that they want this fast food, or which also could be a bit, as far as the mix is concerned, a lot of sodium, nitrate, etc. So how do we do that?
I'm glad that you mentioned all the things that could go wrong with the fast food. The fast food looks nice. It's really attractive.
Well garnished.
Well garnished, and there's a lot of advertisements, okay? So people are seeing it, the children are seeing it, and they want it. The problem with the fast foods, like you've alluded to, is that a lot of salt or sodium, because sodium or salt makes the food taste nicer, depending on what you have been groomed to know and like. There's also a lot of fat in there. Often, if it is sugary, there may be a lot of sugar, or maybe too much sugar in there as well. So already you can see that the proportions have a problem, and people adapt or gradually begin to like something once they are introduced to it or get used to it. So if you take pizza or one of those the first time, you may not like it. But the more and more and more that you eat it, over time, you begin to like it and begin to want it. So for me, what I would say is that as Ghanaians or people in Ghana, we have very good food that we should introduce to our children, especially now that we know that things are hard. And these things, junk food is not cheap in Ghana. Outside in the advanced countries, is like cheap food, really cheap food. But here it's expensive. So middle class, upper class are those who are likely to go in for it. But you have those from the lower social class also gravitating towards it, because it's being made to look like the in thing that everybody, yes, the ish that everybody should have. So we should try and brand our local foods well and market them. Instead of so many of these fast food selling junk food, we could see how we can package our local foods to make them very attractive to the children to like. With the cravings, yes, they will have cravings for them from time to time. What I would say is once in a while may be permissible, but it shouldn't be something that is routine or something that should be part of the family meal like every time or constant, because then they want it, it becomes an integral part of their diet or their meals, and they'll continue to have it, putting them at risk of becoming too big or the obesity that we talk about and the other illnesses that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, because I was just about to gravitate towards asking the question.
Okay.
Incessantly taking these foods, what are the repercussions? And you've mentioned obesity,
Yes.
so consequently.
Yes, so obesity, you get too big, hyperlipidemia, the amount of fat in your blood goes up. You could end up getting fatty liver disease. You may have a higher risk of having hypertension, diabetes, because of the too much weight. Then the body does not respond to the insulin that the body is producing. So these are some of the problems that somebody who is eating all the bad food is likely to become prone to or develop. And it may be subtle. Gradually, you will see that these children are becoming bigger. And you know, in our part of the world, we are happy to see people get big, you know, because they are being well taken care of and all that. But there are standards. There are standards for weight. There are standards for height and all that. Height, you may or may not be able to control. If you give the children the right meals from the start, they are likely to grow very well in terms of height and weight and everything. Genetics also plays a role in a way, because if your parents are really short, then it's very likely that you may not become very tall. But if you eat well, chances are that you might be taller than them, even though they are not tall. But for the weight especially, that is where the issue comes, because what you put in is what you will get out. And
Garbage in, garbage out.
yes,
Okay.
there are some families also that are big naturally. So you are also likely to become bigger if you are from such a family because of genetics. But the environment or the food that you are putting into the child is what is going to feed it. If you come from a family where the mother is big, the father is big, it's very possible that they are eating too much. So when it's meal time, mother is likely to overestimate the portions that the child might need.
That's why you see the father before, the mother took before, and the children took before.
Yes, because it's a family thing. They are eating from
It's
the
from
same
the home,
pool.
the dining table.
Yes, the dining table is where it starts from. The genetics may be part, that one, but you are able to control some of the things within the environment. And that is why you tend to see that often. And even when the child is full, mother will be like, continue, 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 because you have not eaten to her expectation. And if you look at the trends out there in the like America and all those places, you see that they even though they have all the junk food, those who are mindful are thin or are not big. They are not overweight. But those who are eating all the junk and all tend to be really, really big. So
Are you seeing
like
this
that.
pattern of body weight as a result of lifestyle more pervasive in our environment, or at the various OPDs?
It's
or your
becoming
consulting
more.
rooms?
Yes, it's becoming more. If you walk into a school now, a regular school now, preparatory school, high school, you may see that you are seeing more people who are overweight or even obese in some cases. So it's becoming more. There are some statistics that I was hoping we could pull out, but then if we are not able to get it, but we have noticed that there are more people who are getting bigger and bigger. Again, the screen time is a problem. People are eating, children are eating, they are behind televisions for long hours. They are not moving much, they are not exercising, they are not playing outside. So then they are eating and storing all that energy, which will later be converted to fat.
That's scary. Make it scary. So what do parents do, or guardians? What do they do to try to create a certain mix in terms of their nutritional value or content that they want children to ingest within this period?
Be mindful that even though it's Christmas, we still need to have the children eat balanced meals. The reward, if you decide to give food as a reward to the child, you should still choose healthy. The candy, the chocolate and all that, once in a while, like I've said, it's okay, but it shouldn't be something that they are abusing or eating so much of every day because of the sugar content and all that. And every meal that you choose for your child needs to be healthy. It has to be balanced with all the things that we have mentioned. The protein should be in there, the carbohydrates, the fats and oils should be in there. The vegetables especially, we are not doing too well in our parts, like in Ghana, we are not doing too well with the vegetables. We should try and make it a part, and the fruits as well every day, so that the children will get all that they need to grow well. Their brain will grow, their bodies will grow, and they will be the right size. So every meal time is an opportunity for parents to make a decision to give the children a good chance at a good start.
Okay, so at the end of the day, each day we tend to give children these lunch packs with assorted drinks, very much sugary or concentrate, so to speak. So if that is the lifestyle for the children each day within the Christmas season, how do you limit that so that they don't take overdoses of many of them?
Even for the school lunchbox, ideally, they should have fruits in there.
Really?
Yes, ideally, they should have fruits in there. And even for the fruits, it's better to eat your fruit than to drink your fruit where possible. Because when you eat the fruit, you have all the fiber in there. If it is not a smoothie, like a blended fruit that you're taking and it is a juice, it means that the fiber has been extracted often. So the fiber content is lower in the juice than if you have the actual fruit maybe in a smoothie. So there too, we the parents can try so that when they are going to school, we send them with healthy snacks, healthy juices rather than the soda, because of the sugar content that the soda have. And if you are a child and you are taking so much soda, you are likely to be very, very active because of the excess sugar in the soda that you are taking. So that is also not to be encouraged. And within the Christmas period as well, we are hoping that parents will encourage them to take more fruits, get them smoothies where possible. A bit of ice cream is okay, just like the others, like I mentioned, but it shouldn't be something that they are taking constantly or many times in the day.
Okay. So I have a friend, Nicholas Aboya, works with the Ghana Health Service, boss in charge of IT in the regional directorate at WA, and is asking, if this is a lifestyle, how do you make sure that post the Christmas or the New Year festivities, you tend to detox for children? Is there a possibility?
Well, it's looking like you're thinking of doing maybe more exercise or something to get rid of the weight. But the ideal is to live healthy every day. Children also need exercise, and thankfully, they get most of this exercise as they play around. The outdoor games that they play gives them the opportunity to exercise. So then that's good. If it is their habit or something they do on a daily basis, we are not saying that they should do junk during Christmas and after Christmas, aim at doing any detox. Healthy every day, exercise every day, play every day, and they'll get some exercise every day. Drink enough water during the day, and just interact with other children as much as possible too.
Okay, so if that's the case, do you, as the Pediatric Society of Ghana, have scheduled programs within the year for which you have these events that enable us to be exposed to some of your expertise in terms of education, etc., on some of these subjects?
Roland, thank you so much for bringing this up. So in February, 1st to 3rd February, we have our AGSM where we will have a lot of stakeholders come together to talk about nutrition. And we are making the theme, we're looking at social and economic impact of malnutrition on Ghana's long-term development. So we're saying that Ghana 50 years from now, 100 years from now, whatever we will see in the country will depend on what we're doing with the nutrition of our children today. Prices of food, we all know where it has gone really high. Our children able to get the proteins they need, all these balanced meals we've talked about, is it available to them? The school feeding program, how is it going? So we're going to discuss all those things, and we're hoping that we'll get the president to join us so that we can let him know our concerns with the nutrition.
The president of where?
Of Ghana, Nana.
Okay.
Who else? Nana. We are hoping that we can get him to join us to have all these important conversations, because we are worried that it's not looking very good. And if we want a bright future, then we should be focusing more on the children that we have today, because they are the ones who are going to be at the helm of affairs if their brains are damaged because they are not getting so much food or good food, or their IQs are low because of anemia. Then it's going to be a problem for us. So we're going to discuss all those things and hopefully come up with recommendations for the future for Ghana.
I've really enjoyed the conversation, though, but there's one thing that a viewer wants me to ask. They say it means that as a society, you can make contributions to national policy.
Absolutely.
Okay. So have you been seeing the pictures of the national school feeding program, the poor food? What contribution have you done?
You see, we work in the background sometimes, and
the
there
food
are
is still
times.
poor?
No, I'm just saying. You see, these are big things. They are big issues that we deal with. We are putting this program together so that we can get him to come himself.
Oh, Doc.
Yes.
Continue.
We have a whole national school feeding program. Roland, you know the issues. I mean, so we are going to take it a step at a time, and make the recommendations that we need to make. You are not telling me that those who are there don't know that the quality of the food that is being given
Anyway,
is
it's not
poor.
supposed to ambush you. I thought I wanted
it's
to.
a big it's a big
It's
problem.
a bigger national conversation.
Yes, it's a big national conversation. That's why we are setting time aside to discuss some of these things.
What's your last advice? If you take of all the things that we've talked about, the three key issues you would want parents to take cognizance of in relation to the nutrition of their children this Christmas.
Good nutrition is important, and it will determine the potential that your child will reach in future.
Okay.
At every mealtime, you have the opportunity to choose right and choose a balanced meal for your child every opportunity that you have.
I love that. This should be a good make of a copy for a TVC, just to educate children on nutrition, right? Well, we've had in the studio the president of the Pediatric Society of Ghana, Dr. Mantebia Boy. Thank you for joining us. We've enjoyed this conversation. Pleasure. And I also do know that there are many students, as well as all students across the country, who are doing so many things for their schools. And just yesterday, I was in a position alongside the chairman for the RATE group, as well as Godwin Tamaklo, and then also Eduji Tamaklo, the legal practitioner. We're all at the event of the 84, 85, 86-year group of the Accra Girls O Student Association, and they are now soliciting efforts to make sure that they refurbish their science lab of their old school, and so envisaging that all of us will join and support them in this endeavor. As it is, we say that congratulations for the year group making sure they put this together. Good morning to you, Nicholas Aboya with the Ghana Health Service in WA currently. That will be in the upper West region. In the meantime, please let's look at this. This Christmas promises to be the best so far. So book 2 nights and also get the 3rd night free with all meals, including starting from 5,100 for a couple. And the packages will include offering guests free access to all in-house activities. And these activities include a swimming pool, which is available, a gym, cinema with popcorn, board games, snooker games available, and all that, Ludo, all of them, and great entertainment. So you also get to enjoy free airport pickups from Takrady if you land, and all this will be on weekends. Make sure that, as you know, terms and conditions will apply. So all these fun activities will include a tour of the beautiful facility with a golf cart, splash playgrounds for children as well, if you tend to have them along the holiday period, and then bouncing castle if the children are available. So we're going to have bicycles also available for you to take a ride with your children, and all those games at the beach. And horse riding is also available. So you have boats, and all these will be taking place if you get to visit the Maha village, and also jet ski. Many of us love them. Banana boats, party bus rides, nightclub jamming, live bands, and DJ nights, all available for you. Brass band, through. We're going to have a trip also to Inzulezu. Now, all you need to do to make sure you're part of this festival period is to make sure you call the following booking numbers. So you call for your reservations to avoid any disappointment, and we have them through the line 030-3977-773, or you can also call their mobile numbers or cell 050-157-0684 or 054-0124-114, or you can also email them, and the mail is sm@maharesort.com/reservations. So make sure you touch base with their social media handles, get the latest, and then also through www.maharesort.com. We're taking a break. We'll bring you sports next.